welcome to the Shapeshifters of Rathe. We've got a bit of a different face today. We've got Fyandan or Daniel, as Essa is away attending a Flesh and Blood event, so I'm sure we'll hear more about that in the future. So Dan was fortunate enough or planned well enough to be able to go to Japan. So we're going to hear a bit about his Japan journey, and unfortunately didn't cosplay, but was fully immersed in everything of cosplay while he was there as well. So Dan, just to introduce yourself, and there's, for those who don't know you, but I mean, we know you affectionately as Fyandan. So
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm Daniel. In the cosplay world, I go by fyandan because I did the Fyandal Spring Tunic. That's like almost 3 years ago now. It doesn't seem that long ago. And was lucky enough to win a tailor at Madrid doing that. If people know me, I'm in London, UK, and I really like Flesh and Blood. I play as well, although because of the skill curve increase the last few years, and basically some professional players dominating the game, I see myself now as a collector who also plays, or a cosplayer and collector who also plays. But I do make some top fours sometimes. I've made 2 top 4 this year, one at a Pro Quest, one at a pre-release, I think it was. So I can do okay sometimes.
Yeah, I think my best top 8 is the league that means nothing the last season. So we'll see how we go. It meant nothing, but it was great fun. So your journey to Japan, that was a really big trip. It would have taken a little bit of planning. Were you intending to take a cosplay to start with, or?
Yeah, I was kind of open about it to begin with. So I've got chronic fatigue, so I can't often do the work required to put something together, even with quite a lot of time sometimes. But I'm really hoping I'm going to try and get something ready for Pro Tour London, because I live in London, right? So I'm going to try and get it ready for Pro Tour London. So hopefully the stars will align and I can do that. But I was originally thinking I might be able to, because when I think they announced the things in like April or something, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I haven't always got a lot of energy and time to put into things, but it's like 8 months away or something, like 7 months away. So maybe I'll be able to. So I was sort of quite open to it at first. A couple of other reasons why I didn't as well. I was thinking I could take my young Dromai cosplay and just do that. Also because it was Halloween while I was there. Reason I chose not to is I didn't also really want to be on the other side of the world with 2 suitcases. One suitcase is okay, 2 suitcases starts to become a problem. But I was thinking about, I only really needed the second suitcase in Osaka, so could I just send it to Osaka using some of the luggage sending services they have? But yeah, I decided not to cosplay in the end. I was also a little bit nervous about wearing a Japanese themed cosplay in Japan.
yes, that's it's very hard. I mean, you see the quality that they had there for the pre-release thing when they did that. The quality was so very high, and it was like, oh, it's very competition.
Yeah, well, it's the home of cosplay, right, Japan? So
yeah. And oh my gosh. So let's go into that. So did you do a bit of sightseeing beforehand, or did you go really close to the event?
I was lucky enough that I was there for 3 weeks. So I spent most of my holiday this year going, and most of my money going. So when it was announced, I have lots of air miles because of a credit card. So I was just like, I'll see if there's any air miles flights available. And there were, sort of, just about. So my dates were decided by what flights were available. And it was great. I went to Japan 4 years ago, but it was like March 2020. And there was a certain virus that was getting busy at that time. So I went 4 years ago, but lots of things were closed. So this time I did the similar route and went and did the things that were closed. So flew into Tokyo. Then I went to Hakone, which is like a national park near Mount Fuji, which is famous for hot springs. Then I went to Kyoto and then Osaka for just over a week because of sightseeing and worlds. I was there for just over a week. Then I went to Hiroshima to see the sort of atomic bomb related stuff. Then I went back to Tokyo for about 4 or 5 days because I've got a childhood friend who lives in Tokyo. One of my best friend from primary school is Japanese, and we kept in touch. So I try and see him and his family when I make these trips.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. So you made it to the big the what do they call it? The chat, the big talk words.
Q&A?
You went to the Q&A, yeah? The Q&A.
Yeah, I did,
Was
yeah.
there a dinner or not so much, or?
Say again?
Was there a dinner like they have had
No,
in the
they didn't
past?
do a dinner this time.
Just
So
a Q&A?
they did the flag procession.
Yeah.
And then they had the Q&A, but I think people were saying they've stopped doing the dinner. So yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a logistical thing when now that they have a lot more people are able to go, maybe it's a bit more logistical to have to feed that many people.
Yeah, and I think like I've gone to a lot of the dinners because I used to be like I used to get friends of mine who had qualified for Worlds to like +1 me in.
Yeah.
And sometimes the food hasn't been great. So I think sometimes people were like, yeah. And so maybe they've had some feedback that, logistics plus quality equals not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the main thing you're there for is the Q&A, right? And the flag procession.
And it was a really exciting one this time.
Yeah, it was. So how do we feel about the Hunted? It seems really cool.
Yeah, I think it'll be a nice set. I think a lot of people that I've been talking to are really digging the vibe, like going back to Volcor, having the Arachne Society sort of really front and center. So I think we've known for a little while that Arachne is not just one person, but this is really going to find out a lot more about their society.
Yeah, and that's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, and I'm also excited because it's another ninja. So we've got a Royal Draconic Ninja and we've got a Royal Draconic Warrior. And the thing I'm quite excited for with the Warrior is it seems they're finally going to do something that they started and not done much with, which is warriors who use knives. We've had a little bit of support for Warrior Knife build with Slice and Dice, and then there are a set of Warrior Knives. Quicksilver Dagger, is it?
Yeah.
But they haven't really done anything with it. And when I was watching the Q&A with a friend. Yeah, so we got Cinder and Fang. I was thinking, like, I said to my friend, "Oh, it looks like this warrior might be using knives," and they've got a little bit of support. So I thought maybe it would be like a sword and knife build, like a samurai has a bigger sword and a shorter sword. I'm also really excited for Syndra because it seems she uses magical knives on ribbons. That seems quite cool. I could be there for that.
Yeah, that would be really awesome. Like I like the feel of Syndra, and even the young and adult. I mean, we've also got 2 mystery decks, so who knows what they'll be. Another Arachne.
I'm guessing my guess it'll be 2 Arachnes.
2 Arachnes?
Yeah, that's my guess.
That'd be kind of fun. And I mean, there's not a picture of it here, but the Arachne with all of the ones behind it looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Was that in the world premiere? So it's
there have been some cards revealed. I just don't know where on the website it is.
Yeah.
There have been some maybe click on that world premiere link because there have been about 10 cards revealed or something, I think.
Yeah. I'm just checking it out now.
Yeah, great.
And then
but
I'll
I
bring
think
it up.
we're going to find out more about the Arachne Society, what their plans are for Volcor, what they're trying to do. So far, all we really know is that we've known for a little while it's more than one person, and we know they killed the emperor.
Yeah,
and not a lot more, I don't think.
I know. Unfortunately, the Prague page did not give me much information, but
Okay,
we've
never
got,
mind.
yeah, we've got this. But I mean, it's giving us a world of different ways to present the character. Do we want to have a look at this video?
Yeah, let's see the video. I've not actually seen it yet.
You haven't seen it? Okay.
No.
They tore Emperor from the heart of Volkor. This grievous regicide shall be punished. We burn with shame. Now the land burns for vengeance. The guilty cannot hide from us. The children of the dragon will scorch the corruption from this great dynasty. Volkor trembles as the thousands march forth. Strongholds crushed, cities reduced to ash. No one is beyond our reach. We shall strike with our sharpest blades. The hunter becomes the hunted.
Nice.
Yeah, very visceral. And that's what thing I'm loving about these the promos now. They're really making it so that we're able to see a lot of different characters and possibly cosplay opportunities as well.
And I think I was thinking when I was watching that video was for LSS, their art production qualities really improved the last couple of years. I think because they've notably had very good turnover the last couple of years in New Zealand. And I think you can really see that they're a much more mature company now. They've clearly got a full-time art team probably behind the scenes making wonderful videos like this. So I think their art assets and what they're able to do with their promotional work is really good now.
Yeah, I mean, they've always had a strong art direction team, but being able to branch out and do the animation. Animation is such a different branch to just your general artwork.
Yeah, and I think
Our art's always been strong.
yeah, exactly. And I think to begin with, we had stills. Then
Yeah.
you had those, you have like those art stills that move a little bit. We've had that for a little bit where they do a little bit of movement. But now we've got, as you say, full on original animation, which takes a lot of work. So I'm really excited for this set. I just hope LSS haven't got a great track record at making ninjas who are balanced, or rather. Or rather, the players have a good track record of finding a way to break their ninja designs. So I just hope, so we've had, I think one of the things in the announcement was the Living Legend announcement. And so Fi is going to be back in, not Fi, Zen will be available in Blitz again.
Yeah.
But I think, Fi and Zen, both players found decks that kind of broke the game a bit. So I'm really hoping with Syndra, we don't have the same thing, because I'm a ninja main. Katsu's a bit sad right now. Super excited for Syndra as well. Hopefully we'll get some love for Katsu. But yeah, I just hope it's not just like it's another busted ninja deck.
I mean, we got Ira back now too, so I mean,
Yes.
and so the female ninjas are coming back to the forefront, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we'll probably talk about the Ira cards available at Worlds, but her playstyle very much is going to be block 2 cards, picture blue, Kodachi, 2 for 7.
Yeah,
that's going to be her playstyle, it seems.
I mean, it works.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are quite excited for adult Ira.
Yeah. And she looks really nice. I personally attended a celebration event the weekend of the Worlds, and it was really nice to be able to get my hands on one of those Iras, and that's kind of cool. Did you do any events that got you the special Ira packs, or 'cause you had
Yeah.
two events, didn't you? Or
So what I did, I wasn't actually qualified for Worlds. So
yeah,
I did the calling, and I did okay, but I dropped out eventually. My mate, and then I pre-planned what I was going to do. So I ended up doing the mostly sealed. So there was a CC on the Friday, which was to get the Ira Revenger, the not anime version, like the full art normal adult version. There's a few versions of Ira kicking around now, so it's a bit confusing which one's which. But the not anime full art rainbow foil, which I think was the same one that was available in the pre-releases around the world, the celebration events around the world.
Yeah, that
so I
was
did
the
that on
same
the
one.
Friday because it's CC practice for the calling, and you get the card. And then I did the rest of the time I did the calling, and then I did the side events that got you the anime characters.
Oh, nice. Now there was an anime Viserai as well, yes.
So we
And
had anime Viserai, anime Nu, and anime Dorinthia that were available as in the souvenir pack, but also as side event promos. Then you had the anime Ira, who's only available in the 5th anniversary booster pack.
Yeah.
And there was like a 10% chance of getting the Marvel version of her.
Oh, okay, cool. So did you do all right in your side events? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, I had a good time. I ended up spending my tickets on Japanese Mistveil boosters to hopefully get a anime Enigma, but it didn't happen. But I think LSS have done a really good job now at large events at catering for everybody. If you're like, a professional gamer who's there to win money, you're catered for. If you are someone who just wants to play casually and enjoy doing side events, you're catered for. If you're somewhere in the middle, you're catered for. They had a learn to play big booth as well, and I did see people doing some of the learn to play stuff. So I think maybe some people, either maybe like partners of players or people who were from the area and just wanted to see what's going on. So they had a learn to play stuff as well. So you had everything right from I'm playing my first ever game of Flesh and Blood through to I'm a top tier professional player and this is my living. And had all those people mixing together and enjoying themselves. And that's a hard thing to achieve for anyone. And I think they've done a really good job of getting there.
Yeah, I think those callings are really important for people to be able to come and enjoy and have a go, even if you're not up there and qualified for Worlds. I think they're really good companion events.
Yeah, and it's like, if there hadn't been a calling and it was just Worlds and side events, I probably wouldn't have gone. I might have done, but like it's, as you said, it's nice that I can still go and feel part of it, even though I'm not a top tier player.
Well, we can't all be top tier players, unfortunately, but we got to work
by definition,
to get there. And calling's a really good training zone too, right?
Yeah, and they're good, and I can make people cry by destroying their elo.
Yeah, that's usually what I try to do. My elo is so bad that new players have better elo than me. Partly not getting to events and partly playing against people that are so good.
Well, my favorite ever opponent was James White, because we had an event in London and he was I think it was on holiday, and he came to the event. And I got paired against him, and it was amazing.
Oh, that'll be amazing. He's such a great person to talk to as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I took a screenshot of the gem matchup page.
Yeah.
Because I think his number is like 0001 or something like that.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, so that was quite cool. But yeah, I got to catch up a bit with James at Worlds. and yeah, it was good. So so the promo stuff for Hunted, I think a lot of the announcements in so the Q&A was very high energy. They made some quite big announcements, and there was a lot of noise from the audience, positive noise, and they had nice videos as part of it. And I think it was actually quite an exciting Q&A this time around.
Yeah, I think the way they're doing it and giving us things a little bit ahead too is making it a bit more exciting, because you can kind of go, well, now I know what it is, I can go because I've got enough time to plan for that too.
Yeah, I think one of the criticisms people made of them in the first couple of years of operation was they didn't always give a lot of notice for international events, which made it hard for some people to then take part. So I think now they've released, I think, the whole year's schedule 1 year ahead, pretty much. Not so, and they've now got this system of having pro tours in different regions of the world within a year. So you got like Pro Tour Europe, Pro Tour APAC, Pro Tour America. So people, as long as you're based in the thing, I'm wondering, do people play Flesh and Blood much in Africa? We haven't heard much about Africa as a nation, as a sort of region or continent.
No, I don't think. I know that when I did a giveaway, I had somebody in the Arab area
Okay, yeah,
win the prize,
yeah,
in the Arabic area. But I don't know about the African continent to the whole.
no,
But I mean, we've got Brazil coming on board too, so that's kind of
yes.
awesome as well.
Yeah, and I got to meet some Brazilian players at Worlds and ask them how things were going. They said, I think for some of the parts of the world, it had been difficult to get product, but I think now that, at least in Brazil and someone else I talked to in South America, they said it's more, they can get product now. So
That's wonderful.
yeah, and I think we've got big events happening in Sao Paulo. So they've got big events in their part of the world too now, and I think they're very, very happy about that.
Yeah, so it's just about truly worlds. So yeah, it's good knowing that we've got London now, which is nice to know where you're going. We don't know APAC yet. We know that the Prague event is the Hunted,
Yes.
but we also know that there's another release and also the APAC, and then Worlds, which will be in America. And I think they're going to do that on an alternating basis. So that means the next Worlds will be again in Europe. And we'll have Pro Tours in the two other regions, and then again. And so it's going to be like a 3-year rotation by the sounds of it.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And I just think it's good they've released things a year ahead so people can actually plan for things, you know.
Yeah. My big gripe is Asia Pacific is a really big area.
Yes. Yes.
But
does the definition of APAC include Australasia? I think it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it's Australia, New Zealand, and Asia.
Yeah.
So and Pacific, but I'm not sure we'll be going to Samoa or Fiji for an event. Because I don't know what the player base is there anyway, but I think it's most likely going to be places like Singapore, Hong Kong, maybe at a squeeze Australia, but I don't think it'll be New Zealand.
Yeah.
We're just too expensive to get to.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, isn't it? Because it's where the game created. So I reckon that if they did an event in New Zealand, a bunch of people would probably go just because it's the home of Flesh and Blood. But it's probably not a good ongoing location, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, we did see that for New Zealand for the Queenstown thing. There was a lot of people internationally, and it was a great place. So I did meet a few international people. But because of the nature of the event, I didn't get to spend much time with them because they were all very busy.
Yeah.
With all the celebrational stuff. So that was my biggest regret with that event. Did you get to spend time with people that you've met online and people that you've talked to? And
yeah, exactly. I think like we had one of the things I try and try to not be the organizer of, but often end up organizing, is the cosplay dinner. And I think other people have organized them when I've not been around. So I think we've got this nice little tradition now of cosplay dinner. Because of the way the cosplay worked out and stuff, it was only really me and Diana who went, but we had a nice little dinner. And I think not knowing that part of the world and stuff made it a little bit more difficult. One of the small downsides of the Intex Osaka is there's not a lot of stuff around it in terms of food and drink. There's lots of food and drink in the venue as part of the conference center had lots of food and drink options, but once they closed, you kind of had a couple of neighborhood restaurants and a 7-Eleven, which made it a bit difficult. But we found a random sushi place and had some really nice sushi. So nice. So I think other people, I've got like a group of people that I see at a lot of events, and we always have a chat and hang out and stuff. And some of the cosplayers as well are in that bracket, but some of them are players that I end up playing against and keep in touch with. So I think it's really nice to keep in touch with people around the world and just have something that bonds you together.
Nice. On that note, shall we talk about the cosplay?
Yes, please.
That's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
So hope you can see that. Can you see the photo there?
Yeah, I can see Carolina.
Yeah. So we're just in the photos that you popped up. So there was some really cool photos. I think Carolina changed hers like a week out.
She kind of was saying that she made this in a week, is what she was saying.
Yeah. I think she may have had the fabric because she was thinking about it at one stage, but definitely, she definitely did a lot of that a week out. We've got, so I think these are prize winners up here.
Yeah, these are the 4 prize winners. So for this event, they had 4 tailors, one for a rookie, which is their definition of rookie is somebody who hasn't made top 4 before. And then they had one for each of the categories that they judge you against. So accuracy, performance, and basically difficulty. They don't call it that, but it's basically difficulty. I don't know whether that was something they've just done for Worlds and because it was the 5th anniversary, or that's going to be an ongoing thing. Do you know whether that's now 4 tailors per bigger event, or?
I'm not sure if it's going to be an ongoing thing, but I think for stuff like Worlds, it wouldn't be a bad idea to continue with it because Worlds always seems to have more cosplayers. And a more wide breadth of cosplaying ability at the Worlds events. So I don't, the thing is, I was kind of dropping off at callings. I have noticed because at calling level, it's left up to the organisers to do a lot of the legwork. Whereas at things like Worlds and PT, LSS kind of looks after it. If they continue with this kind of format for Worlds, I'm really happy for it. But I'm not sure if we can PTs probably could support it, but I don't think any further down would be able to support 4 tailors to have the quality for 4 tailors.
No, and it's interesting what you said about at calling level, LSS don't do the organising, because one thing I had noticed but not really said anything about was 2 things. Slightly fewer competitors at callings, like you were saying, but also less good organisation and experience for the cosplayers as part of the organisation of the event. So that's quite interesting what you said about LSS not being involved, and then maybe the experience of the cosplayers and the number of cosplayers varying quite a lot event to event. I definitely noticed that, so it's good to know that that's maybe the reason why. I love that they're doing this rookie prize because as the skill curve as the game has increased, so has the skill curve of the cosplaying.
Oh yes.
And one of the things that I really took from this event was a lot of people are really ambitious and creative with their performance. Like the Arachne who's on screen here, put a frailty card underneath every seat before the competition, and as part of their performance, they opened up their Codex of Frailty, and it said, "Look under your seat," and everybody had a frailty card. And so I was like, and I just thought, I never even thought you'd be allowed to do something like that, or that's even within the realms of possibility. So made me really think, like, to think big with your performance, because it seems LSS are happy to accommodate almost anything. So it's not just, it's not just acting on stage. You can use the environment around you potentially.
Yeah, and also if people want to see some of the performances, our good friend has put a few of them up on her Twitter or Blue Sky. I'm not sure which one she put it on. But Bubble Waffle has a lot of videos on hers. And there will be some of her photos showcased at the end of this with people's names. We got as many names as we could. So stick around to the end. There's a video showcasing more photos of these beautiful cosplayers. I think that this format is very good for large events. And the Verdant's costume looked absolutely amazing.
I love her. Like, she did Spring Tunic at, I think it was Barcelona. It was sometime in the last year. I'm not going to say the event, it'll be wrong, but I was there and I saw her at that event as well. I was cosplaying. She says she's only done a few cosplays, but she really knocks it out the park. Like, they're beautiful costumes, very detailed, very well made. So she's obviously got a talent for it.
She's done a brilliant job. I'll just see what other photos you've got in here. Oh, there we go. So that's the rookie. She did a brilliant
she was very
job.
happy to win. She was very happy.
It's a very good Ira, I feel.
Yes. And now we've got 2 Iras. So some people were doing the anime adult Ira. We've actually got 3 Iras. You've got the young Ira, which we've had for a while. You've got the non-anime adult Ira, which I think this one was, Scarlet Revenger. And then you've got the anime adult Ira, which a couple of people also did.
Yeah. And then there's Arcane Cussing, which I thought was a very
their performance was really good. They had to have 2 people walk them around to be able to move from A to B. But in their performance, they were basically just going blah, blah, blah.
And that's the amazing thing about being at events, being able to see these performances, being able to see things in person is so much different. These photos do not do it justice, unfortunately.
No, and I really don't know. I think that this cosplay, the Daka Kase, was from someone like Hong Kong or Singapore. I don't know how they got that through how did they get through security? How did they travel with it? I really want to know.
Unless they had a local source and were able to get some of the things from Japan.
Yeah, maybe like the Perspex kind of container. I really don't know. I'd love to know how they did it, because it was no mean feat.
Yeah, and that's one of our unnamed cosplayers, so I would love to know too. So that's an Arachne? Yes, no?
Yeah, so we've got Arachne Solitary Confinement. We've got Turan on Anime Ira. You've got the Verdans that won for construction. And then you've got I've forgotten her name, I'm terrible with names, doing Exude Confidence. But one thing about her costume I loved. So Exude Confidence has 2 big knife sword things that the lady's using. And what this lady said about her costume, it's Exude Confidence meets the Met Gala. And so she had like high heels, this amazing stunning costume, and instead of having 2 swords, she had fashioned a handbag that basically had that style of the swords baked into it. So that was really good.
That's really cool. Being able to have a bag that's functional when you're I'm just looking for the post on my phone so I can give the name, because Bobble Waffle had everybody's names. So
Oh, great.
very greatly organised she was. Bobble Waffle. There you are, Deb. Yeah, she has everybody's names linked in the thread, which is
Oh,
really
great.
great. But unfortunately, there was of some missing.
Yeah.
As much as she wanted to have everybody there. Maybe it's Blue Sky. That's the new home for everybody.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to make an account. I'm not historically been into that style of social media very much, but I kind of want to get involved with the Rainbow Pitch League.
Yeah.
So they're kind of organising through Blue Sky. So I might join this weekend. Let's see. I've got my day ahead of me.
Yeah. And they're just so great. I've done a number of so I'm just finding, so that young Ira is Makoto. Makoto, yeah,
Yeah.
she was wonderful. Then we got Tyrian. Continue thread. Blue Sky has been very nice, a very welcoming space I've found so far.
Okay. Yeah, it's obviously like doing well from X
Oh, there
becoming
she is.
what it's become.
Morgan,
Yeah, that's right. I was talking to her quite a lot beforehand as well, so
yeah.
I'm just terrible with names. She's lovely. She's the person who last year or so did adult Dromai.
Yes.
And I loved her costume because one of the things she did in the write-up is that she said she tries to learn a new technique with every costume. And I love that as a mindset.
Yeah, and the verdance is Joan? J.U. Warren? Joan? No, I probably said it better the first time.
Yeah.
She was beautiful. As I said, Bobble Waffle, a lot of her photos will be featuring at the end of this. So
yes, great.
Oh, there we go. There's a better picture. So he's got the whole hunch going on. It's quite good.
Yeah, and then behind them you've got Fell the Crown. Actually, on this picture, their background that they carried around with them merges really well into the Rosetta background behind them.
Yeah.
I don't think that I think that's a really good accident, because when they were on stage and when they were going to line up, they just kind of got where they could, because they had this big banner behind them of the Rosetta tree. But on this picture, it's really well aligned.
Yeah, they look perfectly in line.
Yeah.
Very well done. And we have to have there's Rudy the Gem Keeper on the end there.
And one of your favourites, Azalea. We had an Azalea cosplayer.
Yes, we did. And she did so well. I think
her performance was really good. She was kind of saying, "Who's the mark?" or something like that. She did, and somebody, maybe her, had made some wax coins, and they threw them into the audience at some point. I think it might have been Azalea, but she was also like, she had a scroll that was like, "This is my mark. Does anyone know where they are?" or something like that. And then they had some coins. So that was good.
Nanami?
Okay, yeah.
I think that's her name.
Okay, great.
Nanami.
Okay,
yeah. Thank you, Debbie. You've done a good job of collating all our cosplayers.
Yeah, better job than I did, that's for sure.
It's good though to have lots of different photos. There you go. There's a nice picture of the exude.
Yeah, and you can see Morgan holding up this kind of baggy type thing that she had made to represent the swords.
Yeah, that's brilliant. She's it's good to think outside the box a little bit, because being creative, I mean, the art can only take you so far. Sometimes it's nice to be a little bit more creative. There we are. There we've got legs underneath that table.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they basically like had this platform around their shoulders and then were like walking underneath it. Yeah.
Yeah, for something that looks like it wouldn't be too complicated, it's actually a lot of work in that.
I think so. Yeah, they
Mm.
got lighting. You've got a platform structure. You've got, you got the chains and the lid. I've already said lighting and electronics. There's quite a lot going on.
Yeah. I think that it's quite interesting. And then also being able to make your noise carry, because you essentially put yourself in a box, right?
Yeah. And I think they were projecting their voice very well.
Yeah. And then we're back to Carolina.
Yeah.
So yeah, really great photos of, that you found, that you've managed to capture there. And I think all in all, the cosplayers did a brilliant job. There was a lot of them there, from all over the world, which was really nice to see.
Yeah.
Traveling with cosplay is not easy.
No, exactly. And that was part of the reason I decided not to take Young Dromo. Also, I've entered Young Dromo twice and made top 2 and top 4. So I'm kind of done with it, I think, mentally.
Yeah.
While we're talking about the cosplay, though, before we move on to anything else, I just want to say real big thanks to Max Ferocity for being a stand-in judge.
Stepping down and doing the judge for us. So she did a brilliant job, and she looked freaking amazing.
Yes, she was hoping to compete originally. She did an amazing dad at Carapace, but because of how things worked out, she was asked would she stand in judge, and she said yes. So thank you very much, Max Ferocity, if you're watching this. We couldn't have done the competition without you.
Yeah, you do. You're brilliant, and it's nice to have those experienced eyes on the page. And also that on that note, there is an ability for people to apply to be cosplay judges now.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Essa has is doing an event. I can't remember which one, but he will be a judge at one of the events. You basically apply like you would to be a judge or a floor judge, and they decide whether they would like you to do that. It's a recent thing that they've decided to do. I'm not sure what the remuneration is for doing such a task, but it's nice to know that if you are a cosplayer that has felt like you have done your dash, or would like to give back on the other side as a judge, or feel that you can help in that position, that's wonderful. I myself kind of consider it, but I haven't got any prizes, so I don't think I deserve to be a judge just yet.
So I'm gonna have a look at it, because as I said, I struggle sometimes to get costumes together because of my fatigue. That might be something I could look into for me. So thanks for mentioning that. I wasn't aware of it. And you'll get a prize soon, Lynette. Keep going at it. I think they should give you a prize for community building, to be honest with you.
I'm working on a big thing for APAC. I'm hoping that I can pull it off. But it's going to be, because I've got so many months, it's got to be quality as well. But I've got 2 3D printers that I'm playing with and trying to work out how to use, and failing miserably a little bit. But I've got helpers to help me with that. But I'm getting there. I'm working on it. There's a lot of things I'm going to try and make from scratch that I've never done before. So I'm glad I've got a good timeline.
And as I said, I'm hoping to get something ready that's been very slowly brewing for London. I was actually thinking, although I was talking to Shayla, who is from Netherlands, and just for the viewers, she's done Ravenous Rabble, the kind of demonic art version, and she was in those. She was at Osaka doing the Dutch version of Nullrune.
Yeah,
which is amazing. And that costume's great. And she's done a really good adult Dromo before. I was talking to her, and we were talking, and I realized it's actually my opportunity to do something really complicated that maybe wouldn't travel well. Because all I've got to do, I live in London anyway, and I've just got to get the train to the other side of London. So it's kind of an opportunity to do something maybe that wouldn't travel well.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of, I'd like to do it if, like, there were no limitations in life. I would like to do adult Vincent, because she's got these like really long spindly arms. Like in the artwork for one of her Oblivion cards, you can see that she's got her arms raised, and they're really long spindly arms. And I kind of want to be in her Iron Maiden with like puppet arms.
Yeah.
So I have these like long puppet arms.
Oh wow, that sounds lots of work.
No, so maybe this is my, if, as I said, if there were no limitations in life, but sadly there are limitations in life. But yeah, we'll get something sorted out.
I have fond memories of taking my deaf dealer on the train and keeping it covered on the train so I didn't scare people with it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not here to be in the news.
No. Oh wow, so that's the thing. What kind of things are you looking forward to in the future? I guess London, right?
Yeah, Pro Tour London, a big announcement for us in the UK. It will be the biggest event the UK has hosted for Flesh and Blood. We've had Calling Birmingham, I think previously, that did a good job. Some UK people were a bit like, oh, London's really expensive, blah, blah, blah. But, from an international setting, it is the best connected city in the country. It is a bit expensive, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I think generally the UK community was very happy about that announcement. And yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we can get a British winner, because the Brits have been doing quite well at big events recently. So Rob Catton made top 8 in Worlds, and one of our national champion, Kashi, came second in the Calling at Osaka. So
nice.
we're doing pretty good in big events. So I think we're hoping a Brit can win in London.
Yeah, I think we've got the closest we've got to a New Zealander who was an Australian getting the top 8 in the in Japan. I think he got.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on the dash.
Yeah, in Osaka though, I was really rooting for Mercy. Like, especially when she made top 4 and then top 2, and I was like, I just want a woman to win. I think that would be great for the community, great for representation. We'll probably get more women into the game.
And that's the second time we've had a woman up second.
Yes. Was it Yuki that got second?
It was Mara.
Oh, Mara, yeah.
Yeah. So it's they're definitely fighting for it. That's for sure.
It will happen, and I will be there for it.
Yuki is consistently top 8ing.
Yes, exactly.
So she's pretty consistent. I follow her podcast and stuff because I value her opinion. If I'm going to do anything well, Yuki's going to be the one that's going to help me get there.
Yeah, and and at the end of the day, you need a little bit of luck with the cards as well as being a great player. So I'm sure she'll have her day soon. But I just want a woman to win a big event. That will be a great day for me.
It will, and I think it'll be a great day for a community as well, because we're all about highlighting all of our great representing everybody, and we do such a good job of looking after everyone to the best of our ability, because it is still a hard place to be in the TCG world.
Yeah, but, I can understand that. And I think one thing I was going to say, though, I'd like to think, from what I've seen around me, that Flesh and Blood is one of the better accommodating games for people who aren't basically a white man.
Yeah.
And I think we're doing a fairly good job at keeping the positive community going as the game has grown. We're not perfect. Nobody is. There have been some issues at times. But I'd like to think, from what I've seen, that Flesh and Blood is better than some other games out there in that regard.
All right, cool. So shall we leave it off there with a positive note of how we feel it's quite a good community.
Yeah.
So Hopefully you guys have all stayed around to this point. Please like and subscribe this page. We will try to give you more cosplay news as we have it through the Shapeshifters of Rathe. And I'm sure Essa will be back soon, and we'll try and have more guests on again. And it's been very lovely having you, Dan, today, and sharing your experiences of going to Worlds. Hopefully I will meet all these people that I'm talking to online very soon, with new events coming up, and hopefully I'll get to travel a bit more. But shall we leave it off with the great video that we've collated? Thanks heaps to Deb for her beautiful photos. So thank you, everybody, and let's keep creating with the world of Rathe.
Say that I sort of wanted to, but don't worry about it, was the merch was really good. I've got the World's hoodie on at the moment.
Yeah, I see that. That's awesome.
Like,
Yeah, the merch was awesome.
The merch of Barcelona, I wasn't convinced about. I bought the Vinset shirt, but the merch for Worlds this time around was really good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.